Hi, this is Nausheen. So, if you're a young aspiring lawyer, you want to become a lawyer, this is your episode. Today, we have with us a very talented, young, beautiful alum, Javeria Hassan. Hi, Javeria.
Hi, Miss. How are you?
I'm good. So, Javeria, you're, mashallah, say, a practicing city court lawyer.
Yes, I am.
Interesting. So, before we really formally start with a set of questions, as a counselor, I would always suggest, a student who's an extrovert, who's good with conversations, who's got the diplomatic skills, and making good arguments and making good analysis. So, you're a good fit to be a lawyer. Is that so?
Miss, actually, it's a myth. That's not true. Because I myself, I've seen such great lawyers who are introverts themselves. They do not talk much to people around them. They're all into themselves, but they are amazing lawyers. When they plead in front of the judge, they know what to say, they know how to say it. So, this is just a myth which people have, that if you are talkative and you know how to argue and you are very argumentative, if it comes to that, then you're a good lawyer. No, that's not true, honestly.
Okay, that makes sense. So Javeria, so like law, like BA LLB. So if you're a practicing lawyer in Pakistan, to the little that I understand, we have HEC is the authorizing body, and then we also have international programs where University of London is one of the most famous programs in Pakistan. So, like if our students have to start applying to law universities after the A levels, let's say for the local universities, how would you route them? What are the options like?
Okay, so basically, this having law in your A level is not a prerequisite for getting admission in a law university, if it comes to that. So once a student is done with their A level and once they get the results, they get the equivalency made, and that has to be up to 50%, so that they can get an admission, and that is one of the eligibility criteria. Secondly, they have to give an LAT exam, which is the law admission test exam, powered by HEC itself. HEC is the one conducting it. The advertisement is given on the HEC website, and that is how things are taken forward. Once the student clears that as well, then they can apply to your law universities in Karachi. So basically, there are two universities who give out, who are basically authorized to give the degree themselves.
Okay.
So that is Zabul, and then there is Ziauddin Law School. However, there is KU, and KU is the main major body with which so many other colleges are affiliated. Let's say SM Law College, Islamia Law College, Zada Boy Institute, so many of them. So they do not have the power, or they are not the authoritative figure to give the degree, as they're affiliated with KU. Hence, their students give an exam annually and go on and about as the administration of the KU basically instruct them.
Okay,
So those exams are done annually
Okay.
according to KU, and KU is the legal body to give them the degrees in the end.
Interesting. So basically, you're saying, like, if I'm an A level student, I've done my O level in humanities or in sciences, and then I've done my A levels in humanities or in sciences again. And when I have my equivalency made, we can have a separate episode on how equivalencies are made. So I have a minimal percentage, my equivalency percentage, or my passing, or my equivalence is 50%. So eligibility criteria is 50% of equivalence, and then you take your LAT exam. LAT stands for
Law admission test.
then I have an eligibility for my 50%. My LAT is cleared. I apply to various universities. Some could be private, some could be public. Both sectors operating under HEC and moderated via KU. and that's how you do your BA LLB.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And then the University of London programs are, I mean, what's your take on that?
Okay, so the UOL program is just like how you give an A-level exam. So you register and then you get the books from there. They send you the books and then you study and finally you give your exams at the end of the term, which is annually again. And this degree basically consists of 3 years in total, and there are various institutes again which are but they are basically acting as tuition centers for the UL program. So they are, in the sense that they again cannot give the degree, they cannot even take the exams. The exams are held in examination halls such as Regent Plaza, such as any other venue that the British Council itself decides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then the exam papers come from UOL, and then that is the whole process is repeated again, just like that of O levels and A levels.
Interesting, interesting. Okay, so to sum it up, like, maybe because this is like, this is good information. So for your BA LLB, the local route is like your equivalence, your LAT, and then you're going to universities is also an option of the international program. And then after, I'm curious, once the BA LLB is done, what next? When do you really start practicing?
Okay, so once you're done with your BA LLB, which is like 5 years later, and you have completed a prerequisite course of an internship with a senior lawyer, which is 6 to 8 weeks usually, sometimes even 4 to 6 weeks, that really depends. And when you have a list of 10 cases attached with your name, once you're done with that, then you apply for the GAT exam, which is again taken by HEC itself, and the advertisement is given again on the HEC website, and then finally you give that GAT exam. So the passing marks again for GAT exam are 50 and above. Okay. But last year the exam was really difficult, so the students approached the Pakistan Bar Council, and then they came up with the solution that okay, fine, we'll reduce the passing marks to 45. Okay. So those who scored 45 and above, they were eligible for a Sindh Bar Council exam and interview. And after that was done, then they finally got their license.
Interesting. So basically, after the LLB degree, you have to have the Bar Council license.
Yes, exactly.
And to get the Bar Council license, you have to clear the GAT exam.
Yes, and the Sindh Bar Council exam and interview as well.
Okay, so GAT exam alag hota hai, Sindh Bar Council is separate, and
Yes.
okay. So typically 3 steps to get your your Bar Council license. Okay, so now I'm a student, I've done my LLB, I took my GAT exam, I gave my Bar Council exam, I gave my interview, and I have my license now, my Bar Council license. Can I practice now?
Yes, now you can.
Okay, now I can practice.
Now you can sign your wakalatnama.
Okay, so what is a wakalatnama, by the way?
So basically, when you are admitting a case in the court, let's say I get a case of Hola and maintenance. So I will go file the case and give a statement or an undertaking that this is my client, I am the plaintiff's client, or let's say if I am from the defendant's side, I'll be like, I am the defendant's lawyer, and then the name, the address, everything is there on that particular paper, and finally I sign that document. That is known as the wakalatnama.
Okay, and I think while we were just having a preliminary discussion yesterday, like for once you have you attain your license, you can go into corporate or litigation. That's something that you mentioned.
Exactly, you can.
Okay, so what is for our students and viewers, what is that?
So the difference between corporate and litigation is corporate is solely in-house work that you do. Okay. So you're either inducted by a law firm, or let's say you're inducted by any company, organization, and you're a part of their legal department. So you're just sitting in the office doing work which includes vetting, drafting, going through contracts, anything that is just done is just basically an on-desk job.
Okay.
That is known as an in-house lawyer who is into corporate work only. On the contrary, litigation is going to court, pleading in front of the judge, getting cases administered, filing cases, getting things verified. So all of that comes under the ambit of litigation.
Interesting. And Javeria, you were also mentioning something about civil law and criminal law.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how, where do we fit that?
So widely there are two major practices which are done. One is specifically criminal law, the other is specifically civil law. Criminal law is administered through CRPC and PPC, which is Criminal Procedure Code, and the Pakistan Penal Code. On the contrary, civil cases are done through CPC, which is the Civil Procedure Code, and then the minor acts also come into existence when we're talking about civil laws, which include contract acts, arbitration acts, limitation acts, all of them.
Okay.
And then we do have family courts as well, which again the family law is administered by the FMLO, which is the Family Muslim Law Ordinance.
Okay, so pardon my naivety. For example, if I'm doing my BBA, I get to choose my electives, maybe it's consumer behavior, it's brand management, it's sales management, or so do similar specialities exist for BA LLB?
You have to study everything in BA LLB.
You have to study.
Once you get into practice, only then you can work on your own specialization.
Interesting. So, okay, so now that you're a bit on the lighter note, once a student actually goes through the whole drill and finally gets to practice, how does it, as a profession, how does it blend with you as a person, and do you really feel if it's your calling? How comfortable are you in your shoes as a lawyer today, here and now?
So, being a lawyer is a tedious task, but it is something that really excites you, that really challenges you, that really motivates you. So it's like you have to study every day, you have to go through books every day, you have to prepare every day just before any case that is listed in the court. That's actually the major task that an advocate or a lawyer has to go through. But it is very fulfilling. Honestly, being a lawyer, I know it's tough. Okay, speaking to clients, making them understand things, and going to the judge, making them understand the point of view of the client. Yet, it's still very motivating. It's still very fulfilling.
Okay. And, like you said, it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of analysis. So, does it really call for a very focused lifestyle, a very disciplined lifestyle?
Oh, it does, miss, definitely. So there are lawyers who go to court 8 in the morning, then they come back from the court around 12 or 1. So they don't go back to office. They go back to their homes, they have lunch or they rest, and they come back to office around 3 or 4, and they sit in the office until 11 or 12 in the night. So that is a whole pattern that they follow. But if you're not coming home, then you're definitely sitting in office 8 to 8 or 8 to 9. That is the minimum I'm talking about.
Okay. And perhaps wrong question. Probably focus and discipline is something that goes without saying for all professions. Maybe you be a lawyer, a doctor, a psychologist, a pastry chef, a mathematician, a teacher. I think सारे professions में yesterday मैं और Javeria while we were just discussing the podcast हम लोग बात कर रहे थे. So I think the element of focus came about, and it was very interesting. I feel for all the students, for the world that we live in today, it's so cluttered. Social media, we're just cluttered. So I'm often curious how to create focus. So how have you kept so focused?
So miss the profession I am in, it requires me to stay focused. If I'm not focused and I don't know what I'm going to say, I will obviously screw up. And the judge literally gives you 2 minutes to speak. And he analyzes, he knows that if you know what's written in the file or if you don't know. And those 2 minutes are so essential for a lawyer, that they know that if I'm not focused, if I'm sleepy, I'm tired, or I did not study, I did not go through the file, then obviously I am losing this case right here and right now. Even if I'm just going for, let's say, to have an urgency granted, or for a temporary injunction, or for a stay, even for that matter, I still have to study, I still have to remain focused. So I know at the back of my head that if I'm not focused, the judge will definitely understand that I'm not focused, I don't know anything, and he will not just belittle me, he will obviously favor the other side, he will favor the other lawyer, because everyone comes prepared. It's not like lawyers don't come prepared.
Okay. That's and I, while you were talking, I feel I feel the need to mention that Javeria was a naughty student. She was like naughty. She was high energy, high creativity, and she would get all the grades. I didn't have a chance to be her teacher, but yes, I think when I joined the profession, and we were together for a year. However, she was one of the naughtiest, and it's so humbling to see how this whole process of transformation with students. So she's given, I think she's caused our school, she's brought us pride. She's a young mother. She's all disciplined. She teaches. She's a lawyer, and yeah, I think just turning back to focus and discipline. So I think that's I feel all of us, all of you out there who struggle with what career to take. You can take anything, absolutely anything, as long as you're determined to do it and you're focused to do it. So Javeria, लॉ पढ़ना है, ये कैसे आया जहन में?
So miss, when I was in my A-level second year, and obviously we had to make our career choices, I could either opt for psychology or law. So I was driven towards both of them. But when I finally started looking for universities, it was just an instinct. I just wanted to do law. I just wanted to become a lawyer. So back when I was in grade 9, then we had to choose our, back in O levels and in grade 9th, when we had to choose our subjects, my father, he was a chartered accountant. So he really wanted me to go into that field, ACCA, CA. And he said that, okay, you have to take accounts, you have to take economics. And I said, but Baba, I cannot do numbers. I don't know, I don't like numbers. So he said, what are you saying? You can't do numbers? You are my daughter. So I said, no, but I want to be a lawyer. I like theory, I like reading, I like writing. And he said, are you stupid? People who don't want to be anything, they become lawyers.
Okay.
And that's when I realized, and he said, you know why I'm saying that? I said, why? He said, because CAs or lawyers ki kabhi bhi nahi banti hai. Okay. They're always on a rift. So you really want that to happen in the house? But I was still very adamant, and finally I got in.
Okay, so I think yeah, you're right. I think parents, peers, and कितने प्रेशर होते हैं ना हमारे ऊपर as students कि ये बनो और ये ना बनो. So thank you for mentioning this, how adamant your dad was to make you a chartered accountant, and how you had to, and I think it was awareness. You were aware of the fact that that you like to read and write, and
yeah, I was too much into it. Definitely.
Probably the awareness also plays a role. So how was it with your peers? How important were your friends in your journey?
Friends were very important for me, and they are still really important to me. So I'm friends with people who I have known for the past 16, 17 years we were together in lower nursery, and then we came to O levels, then we came to A levels, but none of them became a lawyer. So one of my friends, she went for geophysics, the other went for CA, the other went for media sciences, one of them went for IT. So all of them scattered all around. But we always thought that, okay, we're in this together, so even for universities we're gonna go together. But then, okay, I realized that they have their own choices, I have my own choices, but they were all there for me every time, and I think even till today they're still there for me. Okay. And St. Michael's has played a huge role in me meeting my friends.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. So I think I think our school has that vibe.
It does, definitely. St. Michael's is like home for me.
Okay, yeah, no, and you bring us so much pride. So on that note, Javeria, what's your giveaway to your listeners right now? Like, what would you really like to, just like as a checkout message?
I would just say that be consistent, and consistency is the key. Soon enough, you will realize that having a pattern in your life, having a schedule, and being consistent will get you places. If you're just lying around, you're just being lazy, it won't get you anything. And just remain consistent. That's it.
Okay, that's valuable. So focus, consistency, and yes, having patterns of discipline. Absolutely. So good luck to all of you hearing.